What's going on, Seahawks Nation? It's your boy James. And I've got two stories today that on the surface look completely unrelated, but once you line them up side by side, you start to understand exactly what this front office is doing right now. 2 weeks out from training camp, one story is about making an already scary defense even scarier. The other is about a real problem in the backfield that just popped up out of nowhere. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you're going to see how these two moves connect and, honestly, you're going to have a much clearer picture of what Mike Macdonald and this front office are building toward heading into the season. Let's start on defense, because this is the one that's got everybody talking. There's a name floating around the league right now that Seahawks fans should absolutely be paying attention to. A former Pro Bowl edge rusher, a guy who's still out there on the open market, and multiple national insiders keep dropping Seattle's name as a legitimate landing spot for him. I'm talking about Jadeveon Clowney. Now stop and think about that for a second. We are 2 weeks away from training camp, and a player with Clowney's resume, a former #1 overall pick, a guy who's made Pro Bowls, a guy who can still get after the quarterback, is still sitting there unsigned. That tells you something about how weird this year's free agent market has been for edge rushers. But it also tells you there might be an opportunity here for Seattle to grab a difference maker on a value deal. Here's why I think this rumor has real legs, and it's not just wishful thinking on my part. Clowney has already worn the jersey. Back in 2019, he suited up for Seattle, and by his own admission, part of what drew him here in the first place was the locker room, the culture, the belief that this organization has in its guys. That matters more than people realize. When a veteran already knows the building, already knows the city, already has a relationship with the fan base, that's half the battle done before he even signs his name on the contract. But the piece that really sells me on this one is the Mike Macdonald connection. Back in 2023, when Clowney was playing for the Ravens, Macdonald was calling the defense as Baltimore's coordinator. And under Macdonald's system, Clowney didn't just show up, he flat out balled out. We're talking 9.5 sacks, 5 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, and over 70 quarterback pressures in that one season. Seahawks Nation, that is an elite, borderline top 5 edge rusher type of season, and he put it up in his 30s, which tells you the man still has plenty of juice left in the tank. So when you combine a head coach who has already proven he knows exactly how to unlock Clowney's best football, a locker room the guy has already lived in and loved, and a defending Super Bowl champion defense that leans on edge depth to keep that pass-rush rotation fresh, you start to see why this isn't just some random name being thrown out there for clicks. This is a legitimately sensible fit on paper. Now, am I telling you it's a done deal? Absolutely not. And I'm never going to sit here and lie to you and pretend a rumor is a signed contract. Clowney has talked to teams before in other off-seasons and things didn't come together. So there's real uncertainty here. But if this front office is serious about running it back and defending that Lombardi trophy, adding a proven, battle-tested veteran who has already thrived in this exact scheme is about as low risk, high reward as a move can get. And not going to lie to you, Seahawks Nation, part of me gets fired up just imagining him lining up across from our current pass rushers. Picture that front for a second. That is an absolute nightmare matchup for opposing offensive lines. Before I move on to the backfield situation, I need you to do me a solid. If you're locked in with this team like I am, smash that like button right now and make sure you're subscribed. We are grinding our way to 5,000 subscribers on this channel, and every single one of you hitting that button gets us that much closer. It genuinely helps the channel grow, so I appreciate every single one of you who takes 2 seconds to do it. All right, let's shift over to the other side of the ball. Because while everybody's buzzing about the defense potentially getting scarier, there's a situation brewing at running back that deserves just as much of your attention. Maybe even more, depending on how it shakes out. This one could actually affect how our offense looks in Week 1. Zach Charbonnet has officially landed on the physically unable to perform list. Now, for those who might not remember exactly when this injury happened, it traces back to the divisional round of the playoffs back in January. And here we are heading into a new season, and there's genuine uncertainty about when he's going to be cleared to actually play football again. From everything I've been able to gather, the realistic expectation is somewhere in the mid to late season range for a return. That is not some quick 2-week thing we're talking about here. That's a significant chunk of the schedule where we might not have him available. And look, I'm not going to pretend that doesn't sting, because it does. Charbonnet has been a real piece of the identity of this backfield. Losing him for an extended stretch opens up a legitimate question mark for this offense. So naturally, the question becomes, who steps up? Right now, that answer is Jadarian Price, our first-round rookie, and he's clearly going to be the lead back to open the season. But here's where I start to get a little concerned. The depth chart behind him is thin. And I mean genuinely thin, not just thin on paper. That is exactly why a name like Caleb Johnson has suddenly started popping up in trade conversation circles. Johnson is currently over in Pittsburgh, still on his rookie contract, which makes him a cheap, easy piece to move if the Steelers decide that's the direction they want to go. His rookie season didn't really pop the way a lot of draft analysts expected it to, and now he finds himself fighting for snaps behind Eli Heinrich and Travis Homer, two backs who both bring more versatility in the passing game and on special teams. So from Pittsburgh's perspective, moving on from him actually makes a decent amount of sense too, which is exactly the kind of situation that creates trade smoke. Now I want to be straight up with you, Seahawks Nation, because I never want to feed you hype without context. There is no formal trade talk that has been reported anywhere at this point. This is speculation, not a done deal, not even close to one. But given our current injury situation at the position, it makes complete sense why Seattle's name would get connected to a player like this. It would be a low-cost, low-risk move that gives Jadarian Price some legitimate insurance instead of just throwing him into a massive workload right out of the gate as a rookie. Personally, I actually like the logic behind this one. I'm not saying go trade away a stack of draft picks to get it done. But if it's a cheap depth add that stabilizes the running back room while Charbonnet works his way back to full health, I'm all for that kind of move. What I really don't want to see is Price getting overworked and beat up in week 1 simply because we didn't bring in enough support behind him heading into the season. So now let's zoom out and put both of these stories together, because this is where it gets interesting. On the defensive side, we've got a real opportunity to add a proven veteran in Jadeveon Clowney, a guy who has already thrived under Mike McDonald's system before. And that's the type of move that takes a defense that just won a Super Bowl and makes it even more terrifying for opposing offenses. On the offensive side, we've got a real injury situation at running back and a depth chart that needs reinforcement sooner rather than later. To me, that paints the picture of a team that is not sitting back and coasting on its championship. This front office is actively managing the roster in real time. One side of the ball is about getting stronger. The other side is about protecting what we already built. That's not a red flag by any means, but it is absolutely a moment worth paying close attention to over these next 2 weeks before camp opens. If you're the type of fan who wants to leave a comment every time I post one of these breakdowns, I read every single one of them, so let me know down below. Would you bring Clowney back to Seattle if you had the final say? And on the running back side, do you think the front office should go get another body at that position? Or do you trust Jadarian Price to carry the load solo until Charbonnet is back to full strength? Drop your honest take in the comments. I genuinely want to hear where Seahawks Nation stands on both of these. I'll leave you with this. These two stories tell me Seattle is not getting comfortable just because they're wearing the crown right now. This front office is still actively hunting for ways to make this roster better. Whether that means bringing back a familiar face like Clowney to stack even more talent onto that pass rush, or keeping a close eye on the trade market to shore up depth at running back while Charbonnet continues to heal up. Now again, it's important that we all keep in mind these are still just rumors at this stage. Nothing here is confirmed, nothing is signed, nothing is official. But the simple fact that Seattle keeps getting mentioned in these conversations tells you this organization is staying aggressive, staying sharp, and staying ready to improve a roster that already walks into this season as one of the favorites to go back-to-back. From here, it's all about watching how training camp actually unfolds over the next few weeks to see whether these rumors turn into real, actual moves, or whether Seattle ultimately decides to roll with the guys already in the building. Either way, I'll be right here breaking down every single update as it happens. So you don't miss a thing! If you made it this far and you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor and smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, get it done right now. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers on this channel, and every single one of you subscribing, liking, and dropping a comment makes a real difference in helping this channel grow. Turn on those notifications too, so you never miss a video the second it drops. Thanks so much for pulling up and watching today, Seahawks Nation. Stay locked in for more updates as this training camp story develops, and I will see you in the very next one.